Okay, guys, here's Nowoski. Hopefully this helps with setting the toe kicks. Jordan shouldn't need to go over this with you because I'll explain it here. Inside 45s, always a little tricky. The goal is to get these base cabinets set because the flooring guys show up Monday. So we've got to have these in place so they can put flooring around it. This cab set and the laundry, this set. This toe kicks a 1/4 inch off the wall. Microwave here. This is pretty straightforward. For the kitchen, little trickier, but if we look at it in a horizontal cross section like this, here's our toe kick layout. So the goal here, if you chalk line or laser, because don't measure out from the wall because they're never level. 2 3/8 out. This one might be a little bit shallow. I know this one's shallower and this one is shallower. So pay attention to the cabinet depth. Same thing, put a laser here and just put a mark out from the wall, the depth of the cabinet. Out from the wall, depth of the cabinet. Out from the wall, the depth of the cabinet. I noticed doing this video, this toe kick should be moved over 3/4 inch, and I'll explain why in a minute. But that should help to get these tricky toe kicks set, and then the cabinets can go on afterwards. In order to get all this to fit, the dishwasher and sink, this cabinet here, let's look at it in this view. This base cab is only 20 1/4, and this one I think is an inch shorter than normal. Yep, 22 7/8. So the reason that this toe kick needs to be scooched over 3/4 is the filler or the applied panel on the left side right here. Come on. Is 1.5 inches. The homeowner's putting cedar planks on the back side, so this applied panel actually is deeper to cover up the end of this wall and stick out the back 1 inch, so his cedar planks can just butt into it. So if we're looking at this toe kick, this filler is actually 1.5 inches, so this cabinet should be 3/4 inch off the wall. And the filler comes to the floor. It's mitered in the front and built up on the inside, so we don't have a little mouse hole right here. And then on the back, the plywood buildup ends right about here, and then it's just a 3/4 shot out. So that's why this toe kick needs to be in 3/4. So you might have to just lop off 3/4. And then set this, but this applied panel needs to be set so they can put flooring around it. And these fillers, there should be 2 inside 45s, but that's 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. So sometimes we have to cut these in the field to make it fit. Fingers crossed that these work and we don't have to trim them down. Same thing here, 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. If you do have to cut them down, just try to keep it even, meaning not cut off 1/4 inch on one side, leave 1.5 inches on the other. And this rough top piece wouldn't run on the computer because it's at an angle. So that's why there's this guy here. But if we just look at this rough top piece here, this front piece is 62 3/16, and those should be 22.5. Now, before you cut it, just double check. It should overhang 10.5 inches, and then a rough top trim on the outside. We might have to finagle it to get the end of this to end right there, or we just cut at an angle to that point, and then have this kind of sawtooth and come to that corner. So the inside 22 of the rough top ends right there, and the outside would end about there. And then this guy here, come on, And this toe kick should be from the right 38.5 inches. They want a full length for filler here. Just use angle brackets, or maybe we'll get lucky and there's studs to just zip screws to the side. But that's 38.5 from here. There's electrical right here, so just leave the whip inside here because they're going to put a outlet on the left side of that cabinet right here. Okay, hope this helps. Thanks, guys. And then next week, we'll come back and just set the hood and these uppers and the two uppers in the laundry. All right.